99% of people think this creature hasn't changed in ages.
99% of people think this creature hasn't changed in ages.
The Coelacanth science S poster child for evolutionary stasis. Believed extinct for 66 million years, until its surprise rediscovery. Or its ancient relatives dominated the Devonian seas, a time long past. But we assumed their form, locked in stone, was unchanging. And the fossil record showed minimal physical difference over vast epochs. Then, in 1938, the living specimen shocked the scientific world. It looked almost identical to its million-year-old counterparts. And this apparent lack of change cemented its living fossil status. But the deep sea is an environment of slow, subtle pressures. Stasis often implies a perfect adaptation to a stable niche. And now that we understand the perception, let's explore the hidden reality. Modern genetics provides a window into deeper evolutionary time. Researchers began comparing ancient samples with living specimens. The changes were not in grand structure, but in fine detail. The subtle shifts in muscle insertion points suggest adaptation to swimming style. But even the flexibility of the vertebral column showed measurable alteration. The overall shape is conserved, yes, but the internal mechanics evolved. Its diet necessitates specialized crushing power, which has refined itself. And evolution doesn't always require massive leaps or gradual shifts accumulate. And the deep sea offers stability, but never absolute freedom from selection. But the living fossil label is therefore a simplification, not a scientific fact. It simply adapted optimally to a narrow, unchanging environment. Now that we understand the genetic nuances, let's explore the other lineage. The Coelacanth's closest living relatives tell a much different story. Of the tetrapod lineage, the path leading to land animals exploded with change. These cousins rapidly diversified, experimenting with new forms and functions. But they conquered shallow swamps, riverbeds, and eventually, the dry land. This parallel evolution highlights the power of environmental diversity. The Coelacanth essentially stayed behind, preserving an ancient blueprint. Its fin bones, homologous to our own limbs, also show subtle drift. A genetic drift, even without strong environmental pressure, causes divergence. Local environmental shifts likely drove these minor, necessary modifications. Uneven skin structure and scale composition have been subtly refined. A small population size accentuates the effects of random mutation. The Coelacanth is a record of survival, not a pause button on evolution. This realization forces us to redefine what living fossils truly means. and it shows the power of phenotypic plasticity under stable conditions. Evolutionary rates vary wildly across different branches of life. Even vital systems undergo slow, imperceptible adjustments over millennia. The currents that shape their lives shift temperature and chemistry slowly. But these fish have successfully navigated deep time, but not without modification. Our protagonist started with a simple view of the past. They perceived immutability, a comforting rigidity in the biological record. But the deeper we look, the more the edges blur. They embraced the complex data, challenging the old narrative. Understanding requires accepting nuance over comfortable certainty. When this specific DNA segment shows clear divergence across epochs, the arc of discovery is moving past simplification toward true complexity. The coelacanth remains a marvel, but its story is richer now. It is a testament to evolutionary persistence, not evolutionary arrest. The difference between the surviving path and the diverging path is subtle. On every scale, every bone tells a story of millions of years of fine-tuning. The ancient environment provided the ultimate stability laboratory. And it survived by changing just enough to meet its unchanging demands. And this lesson applies broadly to our view of deep history. We must always question the apparent stillness in the fossil record. But change is the only constant, visible or invisible, slow or fast. The coelacanth fades back into the dark, a living lesson in evolution's patience. It is not a relic, it's a survivor, subtly, continuously evolving.